Mountain West Conference media get-together days are going on over in Las Vegas, and I think it's a sham, it's a mockery, it's a shamockery that the Aztecs were chosen second in the preseason poll. I have a feeling I know what Coach Dutcher's answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask him. Brian Dutcher joins us here once again on the Loose Cannons on Extra 1360. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Do you pay any attention to what the preseason poll says?
No, heavens no. Heavens no. I mean, come on. It's like preseason awards. These guys are first team all-conference. This guy's preseason player. This guy's a newcomer of the year. That's all going to be determined when the season's over and we have winners and losers, and then those honors mean something.
But based on who you have coming back and what your team did last year, were you surprised that no Aztecs were picked for the preseason all-conference team or any of the year awards?
I think Jalen was on the cusp. I think he was maybe the guy that was left off, McDaniels. Mm-hmm. And, it's always a tough call. But like I said, that's not a big deal. In the end, the guys that play the best will be on that first team. And the preseason's fun to talk about. It creates interest. It creates conversation. But you want to be there on the postseason first team all-conference.
Coach, now that you've had one full season under your belt as head coach, I know you've been there since '99, so you're familiar with the program, but now that you've done a full season as head coach, what do you know now that you didn't know going into being the head coach? How much more comfortable are you with it for season 2, do you think, as compared to season 1?
I know one thing. It's a hell of a lot more fun to win than lose. So that I know. But other than that, I think, all the years of prepping under Steve Fisher, what better prep could I have? And last year there were some times where we struggled. I think we were in 7th or 8th place with 3 weeks to go in the season. And we played our way out of the play-in game, won 6 straight. We're in 3 to win the conference tournament. And we just did that by staying the course, preaching the right things, and not panicking, not overreacting, but knowing we had a good team when we were healthy and all the pieces were there. And that worked out the way we had hoped at the end of the year. So hopefully we'll get off to a better start, stay healthy, and maybe get into this race and stay in it for the entire season.
Coach, if you were to have to define or maybe classify the group that's playing basketball for you this season, what word would you use?
I think it's a mix of youth and experience. We have 11 players available to play on scholarship. 8 of them are freshmen and sophomores. So that, on paper, is a young team. With that being said, you've got to be experienced at the guard, and we have 2 senior guards, Devin Watson and Jeremy Hemsley. We have a 4th-year junior in Nolan Narain, and then our 3 sophomores all have great experience, Jalen McDaniels, Matt Mitchell, and Jordan Shackles. So even though they're just sophomores, they played significant minutes last year. So we have a mix of veteran guards and then a lot of youth.
Aztecs head coach Brian Dutcher with us here on the Loose Cannons. Coach, is the message the same to the team year in and year out before a season begins, or how drastic does it change based on who you have coming back?
I think that just all goes to what your culture is. And you read articles, our kids are all quoted that if you're going to come to San Diego State, you have to play defense. Mm-hmm. So we continue to emphasize defense and rebounding, and that will be there. If you suffer through an off shooting night, you can still win with defense and rebounding. So we always emphasize that. And then, obviously, offensively, I think we increased our pace of play last year, and we'll always continue to try to do that, to play fast, to attack defenses that aren't set, and try to score in a more timely, quick fashion.
Coach, you had a fantastic record at home last year. Struggled a little bit at times on the road. Is that something you will pay attention to maybe take a different approach on the road? How does that work for before the season gets rolling?
You know what? It's always hard on the road in this conference, and the teams that have the best success usually win the conference title. It's a struggle not only playing good competition, but playing at altitude. When we're at 7,000 feet at New Mexico or 7,200 feet at Wyoming or Colorado Springs or Fort Collins, the altitude is always a factor. And so we try to deal with it as best we can, but it's tough competition. It's at altitude, and we have to continue to find a way to fight through those kind of games in order to win a title.
Coach, you mentioned the different areas of the country that you have to play in from sea level to, 8,000 feet. As far as the Mountain West Conference is concerned this year, is it stronger than it was last season?
I think Nevada is by far the clear choice to win the league. They have 4 fifth-year seniors in the starting lineup, and as coaches will tell you, the best thing to be is experienced, and they have 4 guys in the starting lineup that are playing their 5th year of college basketball. So that gives them a huge advantage. With that being said, we ended up beating them twice late last year, and a lot of those pieces are still back for us. So I think Nevada will be the preseason favorite. They were voted that, but I think we don't see them until February 20th. It seems like 2 years from now when you talk February 20th, and hopefully we will have the kind of team we think we'll have at that point in the season.
What's the toughest thing to get across to the guys early on when the season is first getting underway? And yeah, you've been practicing together, you've been scrimmaging against each other, but you haven't played somebody else. What is that first hurdle you're looking to get over?
Offensively, it's just to share the ball. And I told them over the summer they've all worked and improved their games, but don't show me all the things you're better at one moment. The summer is for you to improve individually. Once we get to October, it's to get the team better. So show me all the things you're doing better, but show me in a team context. So we're trying to show all our pieces, but yet have them play sharing that basketball.
Coach, finally, what exactly goes on during Mountain West Conference Media Days? I assume it's a little Keno in the casino, a little buffet, maybe Celine Dion in her theater at Caesars. What are you doing?
We are going from one room to another. We're doing a social media interview. We're doing different TV segments. We're doing the print media. So they have it pretty orchestrated. We move from section to section. It's all business. And we are at the airport waiting to fly home. So we're in and out in one day, and that's the way I like it.
Yeah, and then you got to come on the air with schleps like us and talk Aztec basketball, which we always love, Dutch. Hey, listen, it goes without saying, have a great season. We will talk many times as the season get here. Thank you so much for the time.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. There's Brian Dutcher coming home from the Mountain West Conference Media Gambit, or whatever they call it, Pete, in Las Vegas. Listen, as you said earlier today, it is so much better to be the chaser than the chasee.
5 fifth-year seniors at UNR. I mean, that is
good.
Crazy. You don't see that in college basketball ever. 5 fifth-year. You might see 5 seniors, but not fifth-year seniors. Wow, that's unbelievable.
Well, that's
guys are like 40.
That's something that's good, too, because you always see, especially teams that are in non-Power 5 conferences come tournament time, that the teams that make it the farthest in the tournament for the smaller schools are all the schools that have senior leadership and fifth-year seniors. So that's a good sign.